The Price of the Golden Arches by Ben, Dan, Ulysses, Brian, and James. What are acceptable trade-offs when sacrificing your personal life for your career? That's our main question in this case. Rob's dilemma is to either take the job of his dreams, knowing that it'll mean the end of his marriage, or to turn down that ideal career for a 5% chance to save a struggling marriage. The key details are Rob and Beth have 2 children. Rob has accurately quantified the possibility of staying together with his wife at 5%. That's an assumption we make. Rob's wife, Beth, has told Rob to take the job, which implies leaving. Rob and Beth both belong to a Christian-based faith that places the topmost priority on faith. We start off by talking about the different ethical perspectives we could take. The first is deontology. In rejecting the franchise offer, even though Rob is the only one who's doing this, if every single person in the world were to take career opportunities over family, then society would essentially break down. And according to deontology, rejecting the franchise offer could be bad reason. Also, if Rob were to reject the franchise offer, he'd be leaving his family and they would feel rejected and have less dignity than if. However, if Rob were to reject the offer and then perhaps blame Beth in the future for making him stay for a marriage, she might have less dignity. And so according to deontology, he should respect Beth's decision for him to leave and not stay. Now looking at it from a utilitarianism perspective, if Rob were to reject the franchise offer, it could help his family and his 2 children instead of just himself, which would denote that he should reject the offer so that his whole family could be benefited. Yet on the other side, if he were to accept the franchise offer, he might be helping a lot of people find jobs, and he might be a more productive part of society that would help everyone as a whole. He would also be able to perhaps provide more financial support for his family. If his family wasn't going to work out, then by taking this job, he would be able to provide for them financially more so than if he were to reject. Finally, we look at it from the perspective of virtue ethics. If Rob wants to be known as a family man, if that should be his priority in life, then perhaps he should reject the franchise offer and stay with his family. Also, if he would be uncomfortable for his family or the world or anyone to know that he ditched his family for a job, then if that makes him feel uncomfortable, then perhaps he should stay with his family and reject the franchise. On the other hand, still looking at it from the virtue ethics perspective, if his true values aligned with going after his dreams and his career, then he should follow that, rather than feeling compelled to try and make his family work out of a sense of obligation and then feeling as if he had made the wrong decision for the rest of his life. Also, while the community usually values family as a priority over career, Rob might not have the same list of values, personal values, and should not feel pressured by society to conform to their values. Rob should look into his own value system, and if his career is more important than his family, then he should follow it. Now that we've looked at the dilemma through different ethical lenses, we turn to our sages for their advice. Our first sage told us to choose family over work, always. She pointed out that no money or success makes out for missing out being with family. She also said that even if the marriage is lost, the fact that you chose family over work creates a lifelong precedent. And finally, past efforts are sunk costs and shouldn't be considered in the decision. Our second sage pointed out that it takes 2 to tango. A forced relationship just doesn't work. Even if Rob wanted to save his marriage, it's not entirely up to him. Also, dysfunctional marriages are often more damaging than divorce. If Rob were to stick around with his family, just to stick around, and it didn't work, that could be worse for everyone than if he just would have left and taken the offer. Kids should come first. There's little reason for Rob to stay if the wife is already making no attempts to salvage the marriage. And the kids might be better off than in a confrontational home. Perhaps separation could offer a fresh perspective. So this sage recommended that Rob should leave for the job to help the kids and to help the family from becoming bitter and dysfunctional. Our final recommendation is that Rob should accept the offer to join McDonald's. We reason that Rob had a commitment to fulfill. McDonald's had invested in him, and he owes McDonald's that. Beth prefers Rob to leave and take the job, and he should listen to her. Rob could cause more damage by staying, as our sage has pointed out. And it would bring the greater good to the most people, most likely, as he would provide jobs for others and be able to support his family financially. And finally, the low percent of the marriage working out, the 5%, just wasn't worth the risk of staying around. Now, perhaps if the percent were 10% or 20% or 40%, that might change. Where would you draw the line in this situation?